Hey, welcome back. The Nighttime series is actually a collection of poetry and short stories. It's a collection of personal poems and short stories that are aimed at providing a safe haven to readers who experience frequent emotional uneasiness by providing a beacon of hope in the form of personal experiences, both fictional as well as non-fictional. Joining us now is a very special guest to talk about her work, and it's the author and poet, Brianna Lopez, who joins us now here on Open. And Brianna, good to have you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us and being here with us. And for our viewers, we want to know a little bit more about your work and more particularly what you call the Nighttime series.
Yeah, for sure. So my book was kind of a way for me to not only express my anxiety that I deal with on a daily basis, but to also kind of put it on a platform that could help people that are just like me dealing with the same things but may not have the same platform to kind of voice it on. So I kind of wanted to build that platform to reach out to other people to help them get through it in the same way that I'm still managing to get through it in my daily life.
And so when you talk about managing to get through some things in your daily life, obviously you speak about your personal experiences. What are some of the personal experiences that you unpack in the book without giving the whole book away to readers? But what are some of the things that you've unpacked in that book?
Yeah, so one of the main pieces that really sticks with me and my entire family, I discussed I discussed a loss that my family experienced a year ago. And it was just really traumatic for us. And it was the first time anything like that had ever happened to us. So I kind of delve into that in like a fictional story kind of way, and other things beyond loss, just about heartbreak that I've experienced and just anxiety and depression, things like that, that I feel like people should be able to hear about in a way that will help them relate to it.
Yeah. One of the ways that your writing is described is in raw form. Talk to us about that rawness.
Yeah, so basically when I sat down to write this book, I just wanted to be as real as possible. I didn't want it to be so full of like analogies and metaphors. Like I wanted it to be exactly what I was feeling written down on paper for somebody to really relate to in its most raw form. And that's exactly what it is. I wrote down the night that I wrote it, the date, and I just wrote what I was feeling in that moment. And I barely like changed any of the wording to make it seem more like poetic. I just wrote what I felt, and that is exactly what the reader is reading, what I wrote on that exact day.
Why did you feel it was important to get this book out? Many people say, listen, we wait to the latter years of life to actually write a book. But for you, you're a young lady who says, listen, I'm going to write it. I'm going to write it early. What was the impetus for you in saying, I'm going to write this early?
I think writing it at this early point in my life is what is going to help it reach more people who maybe don't have someone that is my age that they can relate to with anxiety, with depression, or just experiencing these same emotions as them. A lot of kids my age don't have someone like that to look up to. And if they do, maybe it's like a therapist that's like in their mid-30s or something like that. It's not someone who can really relate to them and has really, or is really in the same stage of life as them. So that's kind of why I wanted to get it out early, is so that I could be so similar to the people who I'm trying to reach.
How does it feel for you being a local indie author?
It is a very great experience. I'm so happy I did it. It is kind of frustrating at times because it's hard to reach as many people as I want to, but I think it's such a rewarding experience to see the people that are reading my book really enjoying it, and the reviews I get are really great. And so I'm just grateful for the experience.
So where do you go from here, given the fact that you got this book out, and of course, obviously, you're promoting it and letting people know a little bit about your life story and carrying that message forward? But beyond this, where do you see yourself see things playing out for you?
Well, as of now, I just kind of want to keep on trying to reach people with this book and keep on kind of promoting it. I do plan on publishing more books in the future. When exactly that will be is not 100% set yet, but for now we're just focusing on getting this book out there and helping reach people with this specific book.
You talk about different things: anxiety, depression, just the emotional wrestling that you had to do as a teenager. Looking back, what in particular was the hardest experience that you would describe having to deal with and overcome?
I would say it was probably my first panic attack, which actually really happened when I went to do like a stay away at a college. Right before I started college, I stood at a college to kind of get the experience, and I had a panic attack, and I really couldn't deal with being away from home, and it gave me so much anxiety, and I hadn't felt it in that capacity yet. So dealing with that really opened my eyes to how kind of severe anxiety can really be for people, and how somebody had to speak up on it and kind of make people feel like they can relate and they have someone who is going through the same thing as them.
So for somebody who wants to get a copy of the book, how do they go about getting the book and connecting with you?
So they can purchase a copy through Amazon or through my Etsy shop. And they can find those links in my Instagram bio, which is written by .Brianna. And the Etsy shop is where they can get signed copies, and Amazon they can just get regular copies.
Amazing work that you continue to do as a young lady. The last question I'll ask before we wrap this segment up is, what do you want people to take away from your writing?
Most of all, I just want them to take away that somebody is here for them. Like, I might not know the people that are reading my book, but I want to be here for them in any way that I can. And I'm always open. Like, my DMs are always open on Instagram if anybody wants to talk about absolutely anything. I'm always ready to be here for people. And that's really what I want them to take away from my writing, is that they are not alone.
Well, Brianna, thank you so much for sharing your story. For more information, we're going to give that at the end of the segment, but thank you for making your voice heard to a generation and a population that really needs to hear you for such a time as this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
All righty. Well, we want to let you know that if you want more information, what you could actually do is follow her on written by .Brianna. You can follow her on Instagram, and there you can find out more about her and the writings. Brianna, once again, thank you so much for being here with us.